evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on Topstar channel 106 on Kinstream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Camnet TV. Here are the top stories in our news tonight. Woman 28 dies in suspected suicide after accumulating too much debt. 1 kwacha bus fare reduction, a mockery, CRAZ. FRA urged to expedite maize purchases to protect farmers and national food security. In international news, UN warns millions will die by 2029 if new funding for HIV program isn't found. And in sport news, Ambassador CHINYONGA lauds Copper Queen's spirit and growth. I will be back with the details shortly after this break.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In forgotten stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. A 28-year-old woman has been found dead in a suspected case of suicide at a lodge in Kamwala South, Lusaka, in what police believe may be linked to financial pressure and mounting debt. The deceased, identified as Tandiwe Mwale, was discovered on 8th July 2025 by a housekeeper at a named lodge after the room remained locked well past the expected checkout time. Police were alerted and, upon forcing entry into the room, found her lifeless body along with 3 empty insect-sized Doom bottles, 2 beer bottles, and a takeaway meal near the bed. The room had been locked from the inside, indicating no signs of forced entry. Police Assistant Public Relations Officer Chipo Kaitisha says, according to preliminary investigations, Ms. Mwale had been collecting money from various individuals, allegedly under the pretext of saving it for interest. She says in previous instances, Ms. Mwale defaulted and her husband reportedly intervened to repay the debts. However, in a recent default, no support was forthcoming, and this is believed to have resulted in harassment from creditors, which may have worsened her emotional state. On 7th July 2025, Ms. Mwale left her home around 10 hours and checked into the lodge, where she was later found deceased. Police have since concluded that there was no foul play and burial arrangements have been completed.
Police in Lusaka received a report of suspected suicide involving a 28-year-old woman, Tandiwe Mwale, whose body was discovered at a named lodge in Kamwala South. According to initial reports, on 8th of July 2025, a housekeeper at a named lodge alerted authorities after noticing that one of the rooms remained locked beyond the expected checkout time. Preliminary investigations suggest that Ms. Mwale had been collecting money from various individuals under the pretext of saving it for interest. In previous instances, when she defaulted, her husband reportedly intervened to repay the debts. However, during a recent default, no one came forward to assist her. This allegedly led to her increased pressure and harassment from creditors, which is believed to have contributed to her depression. On 7th of July 2025, at approximately 10 hours, Ms. Mwale left her home and checked into the lodge, where she was later found deceased. Police officers who visited the scene discovered that the room was locked from inside. Upon forcing entry, they found 3 empty bottles of insecticide, 2 bottles of beer, and a takeaway pack containing chicken and chips near the bed. The body of the deceased was later identified by her husband. The body was taken to the University Teaching Hospital, where post-mortem examination has since been conducted and burial arrangements have been completed.
Agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has called on the government through the Food Reserve Agency FRA to accelerate the procurement of maize for the National Strategic Reserve in order to safeguard both farmer livelihoods and food security. Dr. Bulaya expressed concern that delays in maize purchasing in some areas have created an opportunity for briefcase buyers to exploit farmers by offering lower prices, risking the depletion of maize stocks before FRA can secure them. He made the remarks in Kapiri during a training session for farmers on post-harvest management and cereal crops, where he also highlighted that Zambia suffers post-harvest losses of up to 30% of the total grain harvested. Dr. Bulaya emphasized the need for timely market interventions and efficient crop handling to reduce losses and ensure farmers receive a fair value for their produce.
Safeguarding the staple food such as maize is crucial for the country's food security and economic stability. That is why an agriculture expert, Dr. Oliver Bulaya, wants government through the Food Reserve Agency to expedite the purchase of maize for strategic reserve.
In certain areas, our farmers are not yet selling the commodities, to food reserve agencies. Other areas, they've opened up, these depots, but in certain parts, the depots are still closed. And I think this is an area that could also exacerbate issues of crop losses by farmers who may not know how to manage, the harvest. So we call upon the government to accelerate issues of opening up these depots so that they can get these maize and other crops from farmers as quickly as possible. As you are aware, 30 to 40% of post-harvest is incurred, especially for the smallholder farmers in the country. So to avert this situation, Conservation Farming Unit embarked on a training, of about 5,000 farmers in central and also southern province.
Farmers are eagerly waiting.
Naleta matawa pa food reserve kulingana ne madays twaikalapo bambe abanani nawe ikalapo 1 week neninji kalapo 3 days ili twaleta kuliwa government ukulingana na government ifyo twala ene nayo balebero ko bati gatwala ali amatawa fwe bapokereko fispo so ine ninde tano kuleta aya fispo
oninji kalapo almost 1 week twatushita mataba so yesterday yakuwa lichikumbi naliwa sakamana sana kwa tinfula yalaloka nomba shishi mwabuteho mwalatu wako pali project yesu tushiteni kwa mataba mkwangu fyanya pantu mitengo kale yafuma mumi munje nati baleshitisha no pamwe sipano tabashita no kwa mona atoba monapo but pa super ya mataba furu pa kutu zepo aya ingifya mataba ndangu 6000 abakushtushita tabalaisa.
Meanwhile, a check at one of the satellite depots in Kapiri, district of Central Province, found that all is set for the agency to commence the buying of commodities. However, a named depot clerk said the moisture content was still high, hence the delay. Helen Witte reporting from Kapiri, Central Zambia.
Transparency International Zambia, TIZ, has urged government to prioritize meaningful anti-corruption reforms, warning that the continued misuse of public resources undermines human dignity and deepens poverty, especially among the most vulnerable citizens. TIZ Executive Director Maurice Nyambe said the fight against corruption must go beyond slogans and ceremonial events. Mr. Nyambe noted that public funds meant for critical services such as health, education, water and social protection are often diverted or embezzled, leaving poor communities to suffer. He called for urgent reforms, including legislation to regulate political party financing, full operationalization of the Access to Information Law, enhanced autonomy for oversight institutions, and stronger protection mechanisms for whistleblowers. The organization has further appealed to citizens to stay active, informed, and courageous in demanding transparency and accountability at all levels.
Every act of corruption diverts resources from essential public services, also denies citizens their right to quality public goods, and also deepens poverty and inequality at various levels. So as TIZ, we are of the very firm belief that the fight against corruption, justice and equity, and our work under the public resource management thematic area has really demonstrated that part of that work in 2025 has included monitoring the implementation of CDF across selected districts through our third-party monitoring activities, which have really served to amplify citizens' voices in public finance management processes, and also demanding stronger accountability from duty bearers. Now, our experience from all this work is that communities are ready and very willing to engage in processes of governance, but very often they lack access to essential information or meaningful platforms that they can use to hold public officials to account. It therefore follows that strengthening citizen participation, but also ensuring responsiveness from public institutions is essential to rebuilding trust in these public institutions, but also upholding the dignity of all citizens. So we take this day as an opportunity to call on government to prioritize reforms that will seek to strengthen transparency, that will seek to strengthen responsiveness as well as equity in the use of public resources. We'd also like to urge the current administration to reaffirm their campaign promise that every Zambian, regardless of political affiliation, geographic location, or economic status, really does deserve to benefit from national development.
The Commuters' Rights Association of Zambia, CRSZ, has described the recent one-kwacha reduction in bus fares for local routes as a mockery to the public, given the consistent drop in fuel prices over the past 3 months. CRZ chairperson Irene Kamuti says the move by bus operators and RATSA to reduce fares by only 1 kwacha across all local routes does not reflect the reality on the ground and falls far short of what commuters deserve. He explains that based on fuel price movements, a more reasonable adjustment would have been 3 kwacha for local routes, 10 kwacha for intertown routes, and between 30 kwacha and 50 kwacha for intercity travel. Mr. Kamuti further urged the government and relevant regulatory bodies to ensure that future fare adjustments involve all necessary stakeholders, including community rights groups and transport sector representatives.
Going forward, the 1 kwacha across the board for local routes pronounced by RATSA, that is a total objection from us. We haven't accepted that, and we are not agreeable. If you look at government through ARB, they worked tireless to reduce the pump fuel prices. We are talking in 3 months in a row, we've been seeing reductions in the pump fuel prices. So this is a mockery to be given 1 kwacha across the board and refusing to reduce on long distance and intertown. So as Commuters' Rights Association of Zambia, we put it in writing to RATSA, objecting that proposal. Unfortunately, RATSA has already pronounced but with us it's not standing. Going forward, we are appealing to RATSA to start engaging all stakeholders. Wherever there is any proposal from operators, either adjusting the bus fares upwards or downwards, it's very important that we engage all the stakeholders, not the way this has been done. Just a proposal from operators and you go ahead to announce the proposal. I think this is not fair, and we feel that passengers need to benefit from these reductions of the pump fuel price. So it has to trickle down. We are still insisting there's room for us to talk and negotiate and look at what we propose. Ours for local routes, we're looking at 3 kwacha, 250, 2 kwacha and 2 kwacha 50 way across the board. For intertown, we're looking at 10 kwacha and 8 kwacha across the board. Also intercity, 50 to 30 kwacha. That will benefit the passengers. As it is, whatever the operators feel is total greediness, because they've always been greedy, unless if talking about adjusting bus fares upwards, they rush and go for a meeting. So this time around, they just gave a communique to RATSA, and RATSA, without putting into consideration other stakeholders, they went ahead.
The Community Action Against Corruption, CASC, has commended Health Minister Dr. Elijah Mchima for his bold and within the government ministries he has served. CASC Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo says the organization praised Dr. Mchima for exposing corruption activities in both the Ministry of Lands and the Ministry of Health, calling his actions a rare demonstration of integrity in public office. Mr. Tembo refers to Dr. Mchima's recent expose involving engineers who allegedly inflated the cost of renovations at Mufumbwe Hospital in an attempt to swindle 10 million kwacha from the government. The organization says such conduct should not end at revelations, but must result in investigations, arrests, and prosecutions.
As an organization, we wish to commend the Minister of Health, Dr. Elijah Mchima, for being consistent in exposing corruption in the ministries in which he has served so far. Because we remember when he was at the Ministry of Lands, he was consistent and vocal He was there and instrumental in exposing that corruption. And we commend him for the recent exposure of corruption, where engineers in Mufumbwe wanted to inflate the costing and the pricing of rehabilitation of the hospital, that is Mufumbwe Hospital, from 2 million kwacha to 10 million kwacha. Dr. Mchima exposed that. So we can only urge other cabinet ministers and the senior government officials to emulate the spirit of Dr. Mchima when it comes to zero tolerance to corruption. And we can also
Zambia's steadfast commitment to the United Nations Charter and its core principles, emphasizing the need for a more just and equitable global order that serves the interests of all member states. Speaking during a courtesy visit by United Nations agencies led by UN Resident Coordinator Beatrice Montali at State House, President Hichilema underscored Zambia's active participation in UN-led initiatives and reiterated the country's dedication to multilateral cooperation. The head of state called for accelerated progress on Africa's representation at the United Nations Security Council, highlighting the urgent need to advance the continent's voice in global security and decision-making processes. Meanwhile, UN Resident Coordinator Beatrice Muntali praised Zambia's ongoing efforts to strengthen the operational efficiency of the United Nations in the country. She acknowledged the tangible progress made and commended the government's continued collaboration with the UN system. As the United Nations marks 80 years of its founding, Ms. Muntali called for deeper cooperation between Zambia and the UN, stressing the need for integrated approaches to achieve shared development goals and address national priorities effectively.
Send a message to Secretary General Guterres that as Zambia, we continue sounding the horn as other countries on the continent are to expedite conclusion of the reforms around the UN Security Council. We need representation. How you deal with our concerns, the continent's concerns, without us sitting on the table has been a fixation for a long time, and we need to resolve that matter. I also want to use the opportunity to indicate that you acknowledge the Department of Bill 7 for which the constitutional amendment for further consultations. Minister of Justice is here, Attorney General is here, my legal advisor, Secretary Camnet, PS Legal is here. We have to do that in order to basically allow for more time for more content discussion issues. And this emanated, so I give you an understanding, emanated from engagement, dialogue that the President and his team has been having with stakeholders, including the civil society. One of the meetings we had here was a meeting with 30 plus civil society, 32 civil society organizations. On the same day, we met the church mother bodies, representatives of them, some of them, 3 of them, the ZCCB, the CCZ, and also the EFZ, Evangelical Fellowship. So to put names in full, the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, the Christian Council of Zambia, and the Evangelical Fellowship, EFZ. We also met some church bodies, individual church organizations.
So as I speak about the UN and its commemoration of the 80 years of existence, we, as a UN country team, reaffirm the UN Secretary General's message at the beginning of the year as he launched what he termed as a UN initiative. This is an initiative that acknowledges achievements to date by the UN, but also an initiative that notes the intense complexity of emerging global issues.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Dr. Milna Mwanakapwe has stated that Northwestern Province holds immense potential to significantly contribute to Zambia's gross domestic product (GDP) through sustained economic growth by the year 2030. Dr. Mwanakapwe made the remarks after touring the Northwestern Provincial Exhibition stand at the just ended 59th Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola, where the province emerged as the first prize winner in the provincial administration category for best exhibit. He told the National Agriculture Information Service (NAIS) that the quality of exhibits and showcase investments reflects the province's growing potential in various sectors, including agriculture, mining, and logistics. Meanwhile, Zambia National Farmers Union (ZNFU) Vice President for Small-Scale Farmers Nsumbula Hachi Pawenda said the award reflects the growing commercial mindset among farmers in the region, adding that agriculture is increasingly being embraced as a viable business enterprise.
Northwestern Province is making substantial strides in investment attraction, expanding into agriculture, tourism, and other economic sectors. The province's potential was on full display at the just ended 59th Zambia International Trade Fair in Ndola, where it scooped the first prize for the best exhibit in the provincial administration category. With the upcoming Lobito Corridor set to boost trade and connectivity, Northwestern Province is positioning itself as a key driver of Zambia's gross domestic product, GDP. Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary Keneo Granson Katambi led the provincial team, showcasing a range of opportunities aimed at attracting both local and foreign investors. No wonder his counterpart Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Mwanakampwe praised the Northwestern Province team for their innovation and leadership in investment promotion.
Northwestern has the potential actually to lead, not as number 3, to actually be number 1 in the entire country, because I think the leaders there, the people of Northwestern, lovely people, and also the terrain, the leadership, agriculture has been pushed there. People will not only be dependent on mining, but they also depend on agriculture. And we are hoping that by the year 2030, we should be talking of Northwestern leading in terms of contribution to the GDP of the nation. But also congratulations to Northwestern for having scooped the best exhibitor, first prize for the entire provincial administration. Congratulations, guys, you deserve it. Let's keep running. That's the way to go.
As for Northwestern Province Assistant Planning Director Mwaka Kasitu and Northwestern Province Investment Coordinator Christopher Walia, the win reflects the province's commitment to opening up all sectors of the economy.
As Northwestern Province, and basically this is just an indication to the whole world. This being an international trade fair, we are telling the world that we're ready for investment, we are open for investment. Our Northwestern Province is taking off, and please be part of us, grow with us. We will not regret investing in Northwestern Province.
This is a sign that Northwestern Province is on the right trajectory, and we look forward to see such wins bring a definitive transformation and impact in the lives of the people of Northwestern Province.
Zambia National Farmers Union Vice President in charge of small-scale farmers, Subula Hachpavenda, says the farmers are embracing agriculture as a business, contributing to the province's growth.
For us as Farmers Union, especially Northwestern Province, it means that the province has embraced farming as a business.
Namjo Foods, the producer of the famous sweet potato flakes, was part of the Northwestern stand, promoting value addition.
Through resilience, we are still standing and forging ahead to make sure that our products are known from Northwestern to the whole country as countrywide.
Other exhibitors who passed through the Northwestern stand are equally happy with the achievement.
This guy like that,
this province has got a lot of potential. Mining, agriculture, and later on almost all the sectors, and tourism as well included.
This year's Zambia International Trade Fair was held under the theme Enhancing Business Resilience Through Innovation and Trade. Clifford Chituta reporting in Ndola.
The ICOI Foundation has planted 100 fruit trees at Munali Girls Secondary School as part of its Green Schools program under the Broader Green App Zambia campaign. The initiative aimed at promoting climate resilience, food security, and environmental education took place on the school grounds and marked a significant step towards creating greener, more sustainable learning environments. Speaking during the tree planting ceremony, ICOI Foundation Director of the UK office, Vanessa Gomez Garcia, described the initiative more than a symbolic gesture, a collective effort to fight climate change. She emphasized that climate change is not a challenge for one group alone, but a call for collective action. Meanwhile, Munali Ward Councillor Mulupi Luvasi hailed the partnership as a transformative step in the fight against climate change at grassroots level. He commended the ICOI Foundation's goal to plant 20 million trees by 2030, calling it a bold and commendable mission that aligns with Zambia's national development and climate goals. And Munali Girls Secondary School teacher Rhoda Siampizi, in a speech read on her behalf by acting deputy head teacher Kapasa Mwamba, noted that the exercise will contribute to ensuring the school remains a conducive environment for learners.
A commitment to greening your campus is not just encouraging, it's a powerful reminder that the future of our environment lies in the hands of young people who care. We also wish to simply thank all our stakeholders and partners, from government representatives, civil society, the media, the fellow environmental advocates. Your continued support of our Green Up Zambia campaign and the One Tree at a Time initiative makes today's action possible.
The Director, ICO Foundation, we thank you and your team that you have chosen our school to benefit from your gesture of kindness, and we don't take this for granted. In this era of effects of climate change, we evident and in this era of effects of climate change are evident and affecting everyone through drought and even though unpredictable weather.
Planting of 100 fruit trees today is not only a gift to this school, but a powerful investment into the future of our children's future. These trees, mangoes, guavas, avocados, will in time provide nutritious fruits, variable shade and clean air for our pupils and staff. As they grow, they also serve as a living classroom where young minds can learn firsthand about climate resilience, biodiversity, and the importance of environmental stewardship. We are even more excited to learn that this is just the beginning.
Residents of Mbuyubana area in Mongo district of Western Province are appealing to the Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company Limited, WWSSCL, to expedite water service delivery as the community remains unconnected to the main water supply grid. Speaking to Camnet News, resident Nancy Nalishua revealed that many households in the area have already paid the required fees for connection but have not yet been linked to the system. She expressed concern over the community's continued reliance on borehole water, which she described as unsafe due to the lack of treatment. In response, Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company Public Relations Officer Henry Kashoki confirmed the delay and acknowledged the residents' concerns. He attributed the challenge to a damaged pipeline from the small Zambezi River, which has disrupted progress on new connections in the area.
Water has remained the most critical challenge in Mbuyana area in Mongo district of Western Province. Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company Limited is carrying out the integrated small towns water supply and sanitation project in order to transform rural livelihood to access clean and safe water. And residents of Mbuyana area in Mongo district are appealing to the water utility company to quicken the water project being implemented in the district.
Lunadero tokofera kikuli bataye batulubera mezi mpompi byabona bye bali kubibera bye hakuna ndebizusa hakuna ndebizusa abizusi mezi lukupa mezi lwakupa lwakupa kuli balutobera kwatini mezi luziele ile
balwezeze kwatini kuza mezi luziele ile alwenzi pakonje kukasha madramu ona kimalisha bati kuzusanga ko kwa hule ko luzusaka ko tusakonu kwali bakazaluna niku konje kuzusanga ko bana ni maboho kafoko na ko litusisa kuli lukone kufumana yakati ni mezi mwazo kuli mezi niona abuto kwa kusina mezi batu baziele banyanda lwanyanda lunakwana ko mbiwa na stage 4.
Speaking to Camnet News, Nancy Nalishua says most people depend on dug-up boreholes and appealed to the water utility company to connect people to the supply.
Kwa mbuyo na stage 4. Tuziele ile ni mezi abaota. Balukole kwa mezi upia mezi amabo basama kukola kubera amapaipi. Bipompikize za made kufamani twazizusi mezi. Zusi hamaza za maveli kuzwe anafua pa azusi mezi. Chero avilea lwa kupauli walubone mbaka lubone abalukole mezi.
Meanwhile, Western Water Supply and Sanitation Company Limited Public Relations Officer Henry Kashoki is appealing to the people of Mbuyana area to remain calm, and the company is doing everything possible.
Receive 20% of our integrated small towns water supply and sanitation, and we are currently connecting and transitioning customers from the old system to the new system. So far, we have connected with over 800 customers in Mandanga, Chisonga, the part of the Old Shoprite Road, and we have also transitioned over 300 customers. Those are mostly from Mandanga, and the customers are currently receiving 12 hours supply. We have customers that we connected in Katongo area and in Mbuya, where of course those customers, after connecting them, we had a breakdown or a damage on our main pipe contractor. As soon as the contractor finishes the works, we will continue connecting our customers and also transition the old customers. Contractor has been given strict instructions that he finishes these works as quickly as possible.
Musibo Kabira, Camnet News in Mungu District, Western Province.
This is the main news on Camnet TV, coming to you live on Topstar Channel 106 on Plainstream app. We are also streaming live on Facebook, Camnet TV, as well as on our YouTube channel, Camnet TV. We'll now take a set of commercials. I will be back with some international stories and sports news. Keep watching.
For immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet Television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet Television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every within Zambia and beyond. Trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Thank you so much for still staying with us. We sincerely apologize for the audio breakout. In international news, years of US-led investment in the global HIV and AIDS response are now at risk of being undone following the abrupt withdrawal of $4 billion in funding by the Trump administration, triggering what United Nations officials have described as a systematic shock to the fight against the disease. According to a new report released by UNAIDS on Thursday, the funding cuts have already led to widespread disruptions. Supply chains have collapsed, health facilities have shut down, HIV testing efforts have been scaled back, and many community organizations have either reduced or halted their services. The report warns that unless urgent action is taken, the world see over 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million new HIV infections by 2029. The funding withdrawal followed a directive in January 2025 by United States President Donald Trump, who suspended all foreign aid and initiated the closure of US aid. Here is a roundup of international news.
The UN has warned that the world could witness more than 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million more HIV infections by 2029 if gaps created by the withdrawal of American funding cannot be filled. Washington has cut back or frozen billions in aid, including funding for AIDS programs.
We also see that the impact of this disruption, that the disruption itself is not just financial. We also see that there is a backlash against rights, laws, policies that create that enabling environment for people to come forward and get life-saving services.
The UN agency in charge of AIDS said it feared other major donors might also scale back their support, reversing decades of progress against AIDS worldwide.
It's really impacting us negatively because now we need to bring those people that interrupted treatment a long time ago based on different reasons. We need to bring them back to care. But now the question is, how do we reach them? Because some of them, they give us wrong addresses. We can't go to them. We need to teletrace them, but also their resources, they are very limited.
In January, President Donald Trump ordered all foreign aid be suspended. The US had pledged $4 billion to support AIDS programs. A significant moment in the history of the Central African Republic. Before President Faustin Archange Touadéra, the all-powerful rebel leader Ali Darassa officially put down his weapon to signal the end of his rebellion and the dissolution of his group. The powerful gesture in the capital Bangui Thursday came on the occasion of the signing of a peace agreement with two rebel groups, the Unity for Peace in Central African Republic and the 3 R's. The groups have waged a campaign of hostilities against Bangui with a view to overthrow the government of President Touadéra. I declare before national and international opinion that our commitment is sincere and total, with no turning back. The agreement, guaranteed by Chad, formalizes the dissolution of the two military movements which had occupied the far east, center, west, north and northwest of the country for a decade. Under the deal, the groups commit to disarm, demobilize and reintegrate. President Touadéra hailed dialogue as a precursor to achieving peace.
En prenant la parole à l'issue des travaux
Speaking at the close of the historic Bangui meeting on the peace agreements signed on April 19, 2025 in N'Djamena between the Central African Government and the 3R and UPC armed movements, Faustin Archange Touadéra, President of the Central African Republic, said, "This meeting is a clear demonstration of my firm determination to restore peace through an unfailing policy of reaching out to armed groups.
À travers la politique sans faille de main tendue à l'égard des groupes armés.
Although small organized groups continue to sow terror on the ground, the signing of this agreement has brought a glimmer of hope to a country torn apart by war between Christian and Muslim militias. OPC and 3R have been the biggest armed movements still holding out against Bongi, which only controls a fraction of the country. Search crews and volunteers are continuing to scour miles along the Guadalupe River for people still missing. The floods are now the deadliest from inland flooding in the US since 1976. At least 120 people died in the catastrophic flash floods over the July 4th holiday. More than 160 are still believed to be missing in hard-hit Carville and Ingram, Texas. Authorities announced a phone number and email address for people to report missing friends or family. The search in 31 degrees Celsius weather has been made harder by overturned cars, trees, mud and other debris left in the wake of the ferocious flood. President Donald Trump will head to Texas Friday for a first-hand look at the devastation caused by flooding. Even then, he has remained conspicuously quiet about his previous promises to do away with the federal agency in charge of disaster relief.